Hi, I'm here. Hello, everyone. Just thought I'd see if anybody wanted to chat about today's trials listed on the 5 top trials on the network. I cannot wait, and I hope that we get to see some really good trials this year coming up. So let me know if you're in the room, and we'll maybe chat about it. Let me also let me know if you can hear me okay. I still have to learn how to start this stream. I don't know how to do my front music. I messed it up again. I need to practice the comings and goings. Hope everyone's having a good evening. It's still slightly early here where I'm at on the Pacific West Coast. Well, I'll give it a few minutes and see if we get some chatters to join us. Let me know in the comments if you're here. I have listed in the comments, in the description, sorry, the trials that were on the network today that we'll be looking at for 2020. I should get my water ready. Sorry, hold on one second. I need a sip in this gigantic mug. Hold on. Sorry about that. Hey, Tracy. Good to see you. Hey, Zulu and Blix. Glad to see y'all. Let me know. Kiki's here. Yay, Kiki. Hi. I tried to be fancy at the beginning of my video and I messed it up. I was not fancy. Can you hear me okay? Zuzu says, we're here, dazzle us. Ugh. I mean, my earrings aren't dazzling enough. I have to have a personality too. Hey, Mel, good to see you. Mel says, hi all, and Addi from North Carolina. Hi, North Carolina. Glad you're joining in. I'm glad that Kiki finally found me on a live. She's been telling me to try 6 p.m. I said, okay, we'll give it a go. So I don't know if show of hands, not that anyone can see it but me, but show of hands anyway. How many of you got to see Jesse's piece again today on the 5 trials for 2021? Anybody see that? I listed the trials that were on the show in the description, but they're not in order as to the way they were. I forgot to put them in order as to how they were on the thing. So we'll just go through them as I have them in my description. So yeah, one of the ones that I'm going to be studying up as we go through these trials, and as we when each one comes about, I'll of course we'll have the info and that kind of thing like I do usually in the chat. But the biggest one that I know right now the most about is of course the Chad and Lori Daybell one. That one, for anyone who doesn't know, is this. Let's see if I can read it. There we go. We know that I love Tylee's middle name, by the way. Her name was Tylee Ashlyn Ryan, and her brother Joshua Jackson, JJ Vallow, are they're both September babies. I just realized that. Wow. Both of my boys are September babies. I have a September 1st and a September 11th baby. Well, they're not babies anymore, but I just realized that I'm sort of a date person. Sorry, I got distracted by dates. There are 2 American children from Ruxburg, Idaho, who were missing since September 2019 and subsequently found deceased in June 2020. Tylee Ryan was last seen alive at Yellowstone Park on September 8th, in 2019. JJ was last seen alive on September 23rd, 2019 at Rexburg's Kennedy Elementary School, prompted by relatives concerned not only about the children they hadn't heard from in weeks, but also about other suspicious incidents. In November 2019, police questioned their mother, Lori Vallow Daybell, and the children's whereabouts and welfare. And there are so many facets to this case. I mean, as far as how many, like what was mentioned, how many people had died around this case. By the way, before I get to really going into this, I suspect that I may be demonetized on on this video. Oh, because I just remembered about words, but whatever, it's okay. We'll just discuss anyway. The Kiki, I'm going to go with what you said. You said this trial it says it frustrates you so much. It is quite the case. Kathy was out there and went to the site, Daybell's property, and walked and took footage and did some interviews out there. And the interview that was played during, I can't remember if it was played during the trials, Jesse's trial show, but I know it was played during the stories. That was it Tuesday? The stories that played, the 5 stories for 2020. Her footage was played in that. And so many people were just, their hearts are wrenched by this because, you who doesn't, it's kids, the whole story is hard to just try to wrap your brain around. If you've ever had anything to do with, or had anything in your life, like being in a, if you want to call it a cult, or theirs, I would call what theirs was a cult, as far as I'm concerned on that part. But growing up in that type of environment myself, I kind of can kind of, in my head, it kind of gets to me a little bit about it, especially sitting and listening. I love to look up different religions, different beliefs, and that kind of thing. And I do study, and I do know a lot about the LDS faith. But what they tacked onto it was just so beyond that, and almost for me seemed more like there's a lot of mental things going on with it too, from Chad and Lori both, in my opinion. So it's not just a religious belief, but I feel that there's more to it than that. What are your thoughts on that, as far as the parts of it, like the zombies, that kind of thing? Hey, Whiskey Musings is here. Hey, we're talking about the case that I've got up on the screen, the deaths of Ryan, and it's the Chad Daybell case. Today on our network, Rick, my friend Whiskey Musings is here. We ran the top 5 trials for 2021 that we will be looking forward to. And the first one mentioned was the Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow case. I do believe we discussed that, you and I, one time on live. Well, this case is up again, or it starts. Let me see if I can see what the thing says. It says it's I forgot what the date was. Let's see. So it says on February 20. Let's see. Does anybody remember the date? Let me see if I can find it. I know it was set and then had to be changed. Anybody remember? Here, let me check the chat. I don't remember. Does anybody remember the actual date? They said, I should have written that down. Oh, say, look who's here. That's my hubby, the unicorn. Sorry, distracted, and Whiskey's here. Let's see what it looks like. Was it their cult? I mean, did they make it, or is it still out there? They were of the LD. They are of the LDS faith. But they had other beliefs that were outside of that. On top of it, they believed in zombies and there's a whole lot to their story that they tacked on to just, it's not just the LDS faith. There's a whole group of them that were following Chad Daybell. He wrote books and whatnot and stuff about his beliefs outside of the church. Yes, Zulu says Whiskey's celebrity appearance. Oh. So that part for me, I'm not going to be bashing religions or faiths or anything like that, but we can kind of do that as far as the zombie part goes. We can have a problem with that. But that's where I think that, let me see, hold on a second. I don't know what that is. Well, oh, what happened? Oh, that's my friend New Hope. What happened, New Hope? You kind of had a little bit of a oops pop up in chat here. Sorry, distracted. So let's see if I can read a little bit about. There's not much in this thing, really. Let me see. So we know that that Lori had Chad. Let's say Chad. What's it say? The police were told false. I guess Lori had told them, the police, different things, and never really ever gave. Said all she would say was that the kids were fine. The kids were safe, and this was the whole time she was saying this. The children were actually buried on the property of Chad Daybell. So we know that's, in my mind, in my opinion, that's what she meant by that. Is when she said they were safe. She didn't mean that they were safe and alive. She just meant that they were safe. Not that, in her thinking, I guess that's how she saw it. The kids were buried, and they were no longer zombies. Because remember, she said the kids had turned into zombies. Everybody was turning into zombies. That's how I feel every Saturday morning, but that's another story. So there was a lot of complications. Or it says further complicating the children's disappearance and was the lack of cooperation from the mother, Lori Vallow. There's a string of suspicious deaths and a shooting. Remember how many people we said that died around all the deaths? I know a lot of those deaths, I just don't feel that those deaths were natural causes like they are saying. I think there's more to it. I think that, in my opinion, Alex Cox had more going on there. And so did the Tammy, the wife. And then there was the attempt against Brandon Boudreaux. So that was the shooting. He was shot at. I think it did it, if I remember correctly, it grazed him or something like that. And then Melanie, let's see, so trying to keep up, sorry. So anyway, that's a case that that's going to be a really good one as it unfolds and stuff, and seeing where they go. There's no the trial will basically be focusing around the disappearance of the children, not so much how they were killed or just the disappearance and stuff, because there's been no as far as if I remember correctly, making sure that I say this right, that there have been no charges against anyone for their deaths. They will be just the fact that the bodies were found on his property, and that she was not forthcoming as far as their well-being. Let's see. Kiki says, right, they turned into zombies. Right, if they turned into zombies, they needed to go. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, Zulu says, yeah, it turned dark, time to go. These people were out there. Yeah, so I actually saw and watched all of Melanie. Was it Melanie Gibbs or Gibb or whatever her name is? Her interview was interesting. I thought that was a good one. I kind of felt like she knew more than she was letting on, though. Blick says, everyone in my household has already agreed that if any one of us turns into a zombie, they have to go. Yes. Oh, Mel says, the darker they were, the quicker they needed to go on the light scale of Chads. Yes. Oh, sorry, my little doggy's making. You okay over there? My dog is eating. Zombie camp. Zombie camp. Yeah. So, anywho, that one. Anybody have any further thoughts on that one? Is this one of your tops as far as trials that you want, or that you'll be following along with the network and everything? I think it will be for me. Now, the other ones that I'm going to read, I'm just going to read a little bit about it, just so we can get I don't know as much about some of these, like, I can't really say what I want to say. Sorry. I'll just show you one. Here you go. Let me get to let's see. I'm gonna see if I can try again. Okay, so screen. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is the Mollie Tibbetts one. Let's see here. Okay, so this one is the killing of Mollie Tibbetts. On July 18, 2018, American University of Iowa student Mollie Cecilia Tibbetts disappeared while jogging near her home in Brooklyn, Iowa. A month later, police identified 24-year-old Cristhian Bahena Rivera as suspect in connection with the disappearance. Surveillance footage showed Rivera's car following Tibbetts on her jog. Rivera led police to the body of Tibbetts in these names, Poweshiek County cornfield on August 21st. He was charged with first-degree murder. Rivera's immigration status became a politicized issue after police, the U.S. Oh my goodness, my eyes are so bad I can't see. Citizenship and Immigration Services, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement indicate that he had been in the United States illegally. The Trump administration and Republicans used the killing as a talking point in favor of more restrictive immigration policies. Tibbetts' family denounced efforts to use Tibbetts' death for political purposes. A little bit about Mollie Tibbetts. She was born on May 8, 1998 in San Francisco, California, to Rob Tibbetts and Laura Tibbetts. Her parents were divorced. She moved to Iowa with her mother. Her father kept a close relationship with the children and last saw Mollie at his wedding in June 2018. The time of her disappearance, she was a resident in Brooklyn, Iowa, a small town. July 18, 2018, Tibbetts, a former cross-country runner, left for home of her boyfriend's brother in Brooklyn for an evening jog. She was last seen approximately 7:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time and was reported missing by her family when she did not show up for work the following day. According to police, her last confirmed communication was with her boyfriend of 3 years. Shortly before leaving for her jog, her boyfriend was out of town to work in over 130 miles away. Told investigators he received a Snapchat message from her later in the evening that appeared to show her indoors. So that's that case. And I think this one will be interesting. This one was going to be sad. Does anybody know that much about this one? Has anybody looked into this case? The Tibbetts one? Oh, I wanted to go back for what Mel said. It was a great interview. Oh, she was talking about for the back up a little bit for the Daybell case. The Melanie Gibb case was very interesting, and it was a great interview. Body language says a lot for Melanie Gibb. Yes, I agree with that. I felt there was a lot said but not said with her interview. Kiki Kazoo says, yeah, I'm so confused at how they are treating this trial. Seems so different. I feel like there is much they are not allowing in. And she's referring to the Daybell case, I do believe. And Blick says that they plan to watch. And Kiki says, yes, she wants to follow the Daybell case. Yeah, Zulu says, this is one that everyone wants to see. Not sure whether I can. Now, you're talking about, sorry, because I backtracked. That's the Daybell case. The Daybell one would be hard because it's children. I have a harder time with the children trials than I do others. You mess with children and animals, and that just messes with me. Okay, Blix asks, now I think we're moving on to Mollie Tibbetts. Sorry about that. Mollie Tibbetts, I could do, yes, we find that our watchers have an easier time with spousal or boyfriend, girlfriend type of trials than anything that usually has to do with children. And some of the worst trials that I remember from the network were the anything that involves children. There's some of them that were so bad I had to step away and pretty much had to not pay attention as best I could. Excuse me. So anyway, sorry. So Kiki has never heard of the Tibbetts trial. Zulu says, stupid sinuses. Says Tibbetts is horrible, but not as physically draining as Vallow. That I agree with, yes. What? Sorry, my dog wants my attention. Go see Papa. Go see Papa. Okay. Sorry, distracted. Yeah. Okay, so this trial will be one that I think for me will be easier, like we've said, easier to handle. Oh, yeah. This is my friend New Hope. She's doing a shout out to my puppies Roxy and Bella. Oh. The next case, we go again. So our next case, I'll just look at Scott Peterson real quick. This one, Scott Peterson. Everybody remember this case? This, I believe, I'm trying to think. I think this case was something we did. What is the year? No, is it? What am I looking at here? Here we go. Sorry, I was on the wrong one. Did I put the right one in? Yes, I did. Okay, sorry. Oh, Scott Peterson, born 2472. He's an American convicted murderer who is currently incarcerated in San Quentin State Prison. In 2004, he was convicted of the first-degree murder of his pregnant wife. Yeah, this is 2004. Remember Lacey Peterson? And the second-degree murder of their unborn son, Connor, in Modesto, California. In 2005, he was sentenced to death by lethal injection. His case was on automatic appeal to the Supreme Court of California. On August 24th, 2020, the death penalty for Peterson was overturned, though his conviction was upheld. This case, this guy, every time I saw his face, he drove me nuts. It was a good trial. This trial was something that we were following prior to Kathy and I starting the court chatter. This was before Law and Crime. So this was something we were covering when Kathy was court. It may have even been before court chatter. I'm trying to think. It was 2004. So I know that Kathy and I were following it together, but I think it was prior to. Anybody remember? I think so. Yes, it was overturned. There's really, in California, there really is no death penalty. They say there is, but no one, it's never, they don't do anything with it. The guy who murdered my best friend's niece in 1984, she was 3 years old. He is still on death row. I've mentioned it before in chat, and one of the reasons why I follow trials today is because of it. Yeah, but the death penalty in California isn't really that. It's not that big a deal. I mean, when I say that, I mean they don't uphold it. The guy that killed my best friend's niece was his name was David Allen Lucas, and he is still sitting on death row. No, Rocky, no barking. No, go see Papa. Go see Papa. Yeah, so really for me, whenever California does something and says, that they're going to give someone the death penalty, it doesn't really mean that much to me, really. I guess maybe it keeps them in solitary. I don't know. So Scott, let's see here. The whole case with Scott is that he had a girlfriend on the side, and he didn't want to be married anymore, and he didn't want his the baby and all that. He wanted to be with the girlfriend. So that's why I believe he did it. So anyway, what's happening now is his, let's scroll back and see if I can find it. So on August 24, 2020, the Supreme Court upheld Peterson's conviction but overturned his death sentence because Peterson's trial judge, Alfred DeLucchi, who had died on February 26, 2008, had dismissed jurors who opposed capital punishment without asking them whether they could put their views aside. Justice Leondra Kruger explained that per Supreme Court rulings since '68, jurors may not be excused merely for opposition to the death penalty, but only for views rendering them unable to fairly consider imposing that penalty in accordance with their oath. This is the meaning of the guarantee of an impartial jury. So that is what happened, and that is why they are going to have redo. I believe I heard also today from Jesse, if I remember correctly, that is this which is the one that Jesse mentioned? Anybody see that? He mentioned one today that there was a juror who didn't tell. Is that this case? I can't remember. Wait, no, it's not. I think it is this case that the juror didn't inform anybody that she had been a victim. So juror issues as well. Is that just this trial, or am I completely mixing up trials? Let's see what Whiskey says. Poor little Scotty can't handle being married, so he goes and does something that defies logic. There isn't a hole deep enough for him. He was just, and I don't know, I just never liked his attitude. Lacey was adorable. She had the cutest smile. She was a beautiful girl. And he did it just for the blonde. Yeah, poor Zuzu says, poor little fella. Blick says she was a past victim and said she wasn't. Yes, that's this case. Correct, Blix? In good old in Scott's case. My camera is blurry. It's probably because I'm moving. I'm not paying attention. I'm looking. The reason I look like I'm doing something weird is because I have horrible eyesight. And my camera's up here, but my computer is below it. And so I'm like trying to read my own screen. So I can't see. So I'm kind of stuck trying to, that's why I click on the comments so I can put them on the screen. It makes them larger for me to be able to see. Let's say Zuzu says, yes, that's this one. The juror had a nickname, which I can't remember. I don't remember either. But so juror issues is that, and then the overturn, but the penalty phase is being redone because of the juror issue. That's what this is. And we'll be sure and follow the network, and we'll know when the dates come up and stuff. Hopefully nothing gets postponed anymore. Yes. She says yes. Oh, I am. My eyes are horrible. So that's this case. Then let's see. The next case is Robert Durst. Good old Robert. Let's see if he makes it to trial. So Robert Durst is an American real estate heir, suspected murderer, the son of New York City businessman Seymour Durst, and the elder brother of Douglas Durst. He had issues with his brother. I've seen some of the footage. We did a really good thing on Durst. You can look for it on our the Long Crime Network YouTube channel. There's an excellent show on that. Just type Robert Durst into the videos or this, and you'll find it. So he is suspected of having murdered 3 people: Kathleen McCormick Durst, his first wife who disappeared in New York in 1982, Susan Berman, his longtime friend who was killed in California in 2000, and his neighbor Morris Black. He was killed in Texas in 2001. Durst was the subject of a multi-state manhunt after Black's body parts were found floating in Galveston Bay. Although he admitted to the dismembering of Black, which he was not charged with, he was ultimately acquitted of his murder on the grounds of self-defense. This case, I don't know. So on March 14, 2015, Durst was arrested in New Orleans on a first-degree murder warrant in relation to the Berman killing. On November 4th, 2016, he was transferred to California and soon after was arraigned in Los Angeles on first-degree murder charges. October 18th, Los Angeles County Superior Court. Okay. So his trial started on March 2nd, and as everybody remembers, that's when good old you-know-what hit. And he was postponed, and we had a couple, what was it? Yes, it was postponed. And then the judge, Wyndham, announced that the trial, which had been underway for 6 days, will stand adjourned until later date due to the stuff going on today. After additional well, we might as well just say it. I probably lost the monetization anyway already. The related delay, because of the pandemic, the delays, and a denied defense motion for mistrial. The trial is currently scheduled to resume April 12th, 2021. And I think we'll see this trial resume, provided Mr. Durst is still kicking, because he's getting kind of up there. Yeah, Kiki says he's still alive. Yes, he still is. He's still kicking. Let's see. Blick says they are continuing his trial on his next. Yes, the trial date actually April. What is it? April 12th. What did I say it was? I just read it and then I forgot. April 12th. Isn't that what it said? Whatever it was, that'll be his 78th birthday. Oh my goodness. So Kiki says by the time they get this trial done, he will be resting in peace. Yeah. Yes, anyway. Okay. Oh, yes. I get to talking and then I forget what words I'm not supposed to say, but we'll see what YouTube says about this later. I'll just have to accept that it is what it is. I blew it. I forgot. YouTube doesn't like certain subjects. Justice delayed is justice denied. That ship has sailed. He lived his life already. Yep. Yeah. But I just kind of wonder. I just hope they do figure out what happened to all of his, if he did it or not. I mean, if you listen to what they are calling his bathroom confession, I don't necessarily think that he's confessing in that. I think he's saying the way he says it, and Kiki says it's a joke already. Yeah, I think the way he's saying it is almost like he is saying, yeah, right. They think they got me. Or you know how he was talking in that? He he was, yes. I think he was a little, that was his age showing in that. He forgot he had the microphone and he went to use the restroom and taped himself saying stuff. And he was kind of whispering under his voice. If you listen to it, you think, boy, he thinks he's sunk. But I don't think that's really where his mind was. I think he was like saying, yeah, right. They think they got me, or something like that. That's how I felt about that. Kiki says, for the families, they need closure. Yes, I agree. Closure is very important. In some cases, families are asked, like if you have let's say a serial killer, and they have many victims, and they go after, or they go after the certain ones that, okay, I'll give you an example. The case that was for my friend's niece, for David Allen Lucas, that case was tried for some of his victims, but not all of them. And I know that there were some victims that were not brought up in the case. And some of the families that those victims didn't get brought up, they were asked, would you like to proceed? Would you like to go after them, or are you okay with the decision that's been made because he was convicted on these others? Do you feel that your case is fine, or do you want us to pursue it? And some of the families said, well, we don't want to go to trial anymore. We don't want to put ourselves through this anymore. We will just accept the fact that he was convicted, at least on those, and we'll just not go after him for our family member. Later on down the line, that those family members who made that decision decided that or felt that they should have actually gone ahead and pursued for their family member who was also a victim, because it felt unjustified for them. They felt that it was something that they should have done in honor of that certain victim. So that does happen. So that's sad when that does happen. So yes, go. I think that a family should pursue to the fullest extent of the law for their family members, just because the justice. You think about that person, and it's always in your mind. Yes, the guy got put away for life, but it wasn't for what he did to my family member, if that makes sense. So let's see. Or I'm going to call her New Hope. She's my friend, New Hope. Or what about that one case with the something, I can't make out that word, wife, that the husband hit with a bottle? I have no idea. Does that sound, who hit who with a bottle? Oh, wait, she fixed it. A lingerie model murder. Prosecutors say Jeff West killed his wife, model Kathleen Kitty Cat West, because he was fed up with her racy posts and heavy drinking. That's a first for me. I don't know. That does not sound familiar. I don't think we covered that one. Did we? No, because I would remember typing that name in. So, anywho, okay, here goes the last one. And then I will call it a day. So, the last one, this one brought a lot of emotion up for me this past year. George Perry Floyd Jr. was an African-American man killed during an arrest after a store clerk alleged he had passed a counterfeit $20 bill in Minneapolis. A white police officer named Chauvin knelt on Floyd's neck for a period initially reported to be 8 minutes and 46 seconds. After his death, protests against police brutality, especially toward Black people, quickly spread across the United States and internationally. Born in Fayetteville, North Carolina, Floyd grew up in Houston, Texas, playing football and basketball throughout high school and college. He was a hip-hop artist and served as a mentor in his religious community. Between 1997 and 2005, he was convicted of 8 crimes. He served 4 years in prison after accepting a plea bargain for a 2007 aggravated robbery and a home invasion. In 2014, he moved to the Minneapolis area, residing in the nearby suburb of St. Louis Park, and worked as a truck driver and bouncer. In 2020, he lost a security job during the pandemic. So I don't know how many in our chat knew that George Floyd and Derek Chauvin worked at the same business together. They were both bouncers at the same time. They did not necessarily work together. One worked inside and the other worked outside. But they did know each other and had spent, I think it was it 2 years? This one here, this trial, yes, this trial really, it played with my emotions big time this year. This one and the Aubrey case and Breonna Taylor and all these cases. Now, there are so many sides, different sides to this. Some say, well, he was a he was in jail. He had problems. I'm sorry, but I do not believe that anyone deserves to have done to them what was done to George Floyd by who it was done. Police do not have, in my opinion, have the right to decide who lives and dies. And this was a hard case for me. So this was one, I'm not going to go too much further into this one because this one is just, it's just a lot of stuff behind it. This one is going to be a hard trial for me. This past year with all of this, spent a lot of time with this subject, many hours watching the protests and everything, and it was rough. I do know that Derek Chauvin has a history of doing what he did to George to other people. This was not his first rodeo. He has an issue, allegedly. All of this is always, everything I say on this video is alleged. I should have put that at the beginning. But he has allegedly has issues that we've seen, that we've heard about in the news and stuff like that. So nothing I say is anything that we don't already know. Ahmaud Arbery, yes. This one here, that Zulu Ari is separately disgusting. It is. Even, I mean, aside putting everything that that George Floyd had going on in his life or whatever, put that aside, what happened to him was very, very not okay. The videos that people were taking, all the footage, it's there was a young girl who was standing on the side and she was also filming. She had her camera out and she kept telling him, you guys need to check his breathing. I'm an EMT from, I think she said Philadelphia, if I remember. That seems to ring in my head, but she said she was an EMT and they need to check him, check his breathing. She kept saying it over and over and over again. And like Dr. Michael Baden said, you can be breathing and still not be able to breathe. You can still say, I can't breathe. Even just because you can say the words doesn't mean that you're getting adequate oxygen to keep yourself and to sustain your life. And that is what he felt happened. That was an excellent interview by Dr. Bodden. I am kind of biased. No, I'm not. Michael Bodden is my friend Linda. As I've said before, Linda Kinney Bodden. She's one of our hosts on our network, and that's her husband. He is a renowned pathologist, and I'm honored to know both of them and be friends. And she calls me my Addi, and I call her my Linda. But beside the point, that his interview that he gave after he'd done the autopsy, he was asked by the family to do an autopsy, and he did it. And he did it. Was, I think it was, I felt that from what I remember of it, that I agreed, not that I know anything about pathology. I'm not a pathologist, but I mean, it sounded reasonable to me. So just that you can, say I can't breathe, even, and utter those words and still not be able to breathe. You're not getting enough oxygen. That's all there is. I keep saying the same thing. Kiki says, you never know. This can happen to anyone, and anyone we know. It's very scary. It is. It is very scary. So, well, these are the cases that they were discussing, and Jesse did an awesome job. I do hope that if you have not seen his piece today on the network, that you go watch it. He did an excellent job. The one on Tuesday, also the 5 stories for 2020, another excellent job. Jesse is very good. We have some great hosts. All of our hosts are really good. Jesse's piece today was really good, and it made me really look forward to what we got going on. And I am I said, is it bad to say that I'm excited that we could have trials coming up? Be sure and keep an eye on Kathy's tweets, Kathy Russin, her tweets. We hopefully will have something coming soon in the near future. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on me as well if you want to. I usually retweet Kathy, so you'll hear from one of us about what's coming, but we should have stuff coming soon. If things aren't canceled and stuff, but some things have been canceled. We had some stuff that we were looking at, but they, of course, the courts in many places are being shut down for what's going on, the pandemic and everything. So that's where we stand with that. Oh, thank you, New Hope. Thank you. Thank you for the super sticker. I almost said super soaker. But oh, let's see. Let me look at a couple here. What did Kiki says? I know I don't that when I say okay. I know I do that when I say it's a good trial. I feel bad. Yes, I have that same problem. Going from being a long time trial watcher as a hobby, and then making it my job, I then have to kind of watch how I am. But sometimes that giddiness of my trial watching days does come flying out. I can honestly say that will always be a tried and true trial junkie. And so my heart is with, whenever we have a trial, we have the verdict comes in and whatever, our moderators, I will have to give the credit to our main moderator in our main chat on our website. She goes by Kit Kat. She started doing a thing where she posts pictures of the victims during the verdict, or during especially the verdict, but sometimes during the closing arguments or whatever, but mostly the verdict, out of respect. And so I've kind of carried that over into our chat on YouTube. And I just think it's a good way for us to remember, as people who do like trials, who enjoy trials, that there are lives and there are families that are behind these events that we watch and that we fill our time with, and that we turn from a hobby into a career. And I think it's important for us to always keep that in mind, who it is that, you know, that we're sitting here watching, and families on both sides, not just the victims, but also the families of the defendant. I mean, a lot of times the defendant's families they're victims too, you know. Not all of them are Jodi Arias's mother. Sorry, did I say that? Yes, I did say that. Sorry. But anyway, I love you all. And I want to thank you guys for being here. You guys made this fun. And I'm going to work on trying to do this better. I'm going to practice more. I thank you for putting up with my brain. I don't keep my thoughts connected well. Autism, yeah. So thank you for putting up with me and putting up with me as I read to you stuff you probably already knew. But I like this. This is fun. And I thank you all for being with me. You like seeing the yes, there's a point right there. You like seeing the process work. I do. If I had it to do over, I would have I would have at least taken like paralegal type of stuff, something in the legal field. I don't know if I would not lawyer. No. But I mean, to work in a lawyer's office, I have always been administration minded. I used to work in office. I like working in the background. I like being the administrator, doing all that stuff. And I would love to have been in the legal field some way, even if it's just bringing coffee to the head lawyers in the office. I'm good with that. But just being around the legal part and whatever, that's why I call myself the armchair lawyer. Or fluffy, what is it? What did I say? Fluffy Couch University. That's where I get my degree. The armchair lawyer. Yeah. Anyway, so, oh wait, I gotta put this up there. Kiki says, we love you. You always do a great job. So much fun. I'm better in type. My thoughts are much more connected in type. I tend to be a little bit all over the place outside of chat. Hopefully one of these days I can come up with some subjects that I can get the unicorn to come on with me. And I'm looking at the back of him. He's sitting right over there. I want to do more with the unicorn. I just don't know what subjects we could do together. But, oh, wait a second. Oh, look. There's the unicorn. Yes, we need more of the unicorn. My man is fun. So anyway, thank you. I'm going to say again how much I appreciate all of you. And thank you so much for being here and enjoying this time and listening to me. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the report. Zulu, is that the first time you've seen? No, you've seen him because you've seen him on Rick's Whiskey Musings. I was just about to say, no, you've seen him over there. You guys, my friend who was here, he's up there, Whiskey Musings. He also has a channel. He does, I call it commentary. He talks about stuff. He says his byline. What do you call that? Byline? Is that the right word? Tagline is, when I drink, I think. And so there's a lot of thoughts. He's much better at topics than I am. His mind stays on things. His thoughts stay together. and all that stuff. And he and Kirk, my husband, the unicorn, do shows and stuff over there. And sometimes he goes on as a guest. My husband does on Whiskey Musings, or Rick, our friend Rick.
What the 19th?
Well, I don't know yet. I will let him do that. I don't know if there's something coming up around the 19th. I don't want to say it yet because I want Rick to say it. And be sure and follow Rick. His are you in there, Kurt? Can you type his Twitter? It's at Musings Whiskey in the Room. Follow him on his, and then you'll know what his next show. But there's a good show coming up somewhere around the 19th. I'll just put that out there. I won't say anymore because I want him to, that's his thing. He needs to say that. But follow Rick at Whiskey Musings, or Musings Whiskey is what his Twitter is, and you'll be able to know when he goes live on and what his next show will be about. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Let's see. Zuzu says, all in the name, straight up Whiskey Musings. Yes. There you go. Kirk put it in. Musings Whiskey on Twitter. Somebody else had the other way, so he had to reverse it. So anyway, I also will put his YouTube channel in the description below once this thing processes. Kiki says, Addi, stop underestimating yourself. You do great live chats with us. Oh, good Lord. No, I don't. My brain is too all over the place. I don't know. I make this bearable, sort of. I just smile a lot. So anyway, okay, now I'm really going to say goodbye. And thank you guys for watching and supporting us all. And I will see you sometime tomorrow, like I said, for the report in the Long Crime Chat channel doohickey. So love you. Bye.